That's fine.
Wait, what?
That's 2:30. And that's 2 minutes of prep time left.
All right, I'll start. All right. To conclude our argument, saying that raising the minimum legal age to 21 for smoking tobacco will help save lives and do more than that, I'm going to start off by hitting their negative arguments against, will raising the minimum age to 21 reduce underage smoking? Well, the higher legal age for smoking would delay the initial rate in two ways. Most obviously, it will prevent 18 to 20-year-olds from legally purchasing cigarettes, but it will also have a trickle-down effects on the younger groups, particularly the 15 and 17-year-olds. By limiting their access to friends and family who can buy cigarettes legally, the logic is simple. It is possible that middle and high school students may have access to 18-year-old peers to purchase cigarettes now, but they are likely not to have as much access to people who are 21 or older, who will likely be in college or living their adult lives. As articles state, that Senate Democrats want to increase smoking age to 21. That would save lives by Vox. Our opponent also said that, so then that in itself shows that it will help reduce underage smoking. He said that smoking was on a decline of about 5%, I believe. And as that is true, if we were to change the minimum legal age to 21, there will be about 3% decrease if we change it to 19. The minimum legal age to 19, there will be a 3% decrease in smokers. If we change it to 21, there'll be about a 12% decrease, which is a lot bigger than the 5% decrease that he has stated, which is pretty much double. So that in itself will help. He said, will it help enough? I think any type of help that will help reduce the legal of smoking or reduce the factors for young adults and adults in general to smoking is enough. No matter how big, if there is help, that should be warranted as enough help in order to stop smoking. And our opponents also stated that being an adult at 18, the law shouldn't have to dictate whether or not you are old enough to smoke. Yet again, as we see in many other aspects of life, the law does dictate whether we are old enough or mature enough to do certain activities, such as drink alcohol, which is 21. In Vegas, you cannot gamble unless you are 21. So, in one aspect, it'd be like, why would you have to be 18 and smoke, but not be able to gamble or drink at the age of 21? What's the difference? The same thing as with any other thing that the law has to do is to provide safety for those in its own country. The law will be looking out for you rather than turning you into so to speak, criminal, which is what people like to point the finger at. And to support my partner's statements that changing the minimum legal age will help save lives and money, just in pollution alone, it is 1.69 billion pounds of butts that end up in toxic waste. The city of San Francisco ended up spending $11 million per year cleaning up butts. That's one city cleaning up just cigarette butts. $11 million wasted on trash. Not any just all type of trash. One cigarette specific type of trash. A study published in April 2011 issue on tobacco control estimated that tobacco product litter compromises 22 of 36% of all visible litter. Estimates it costs from $3 million to $16 million in all major cities and other locations. That's coming from NoSmoke.org, Americans for Non-Smokers' Rights. Our partner also stated that tobacco causes $336 million in Hawaii on medical costs, and just in the United States alone, it costs $96 billion in medical costs. Our opponents talked about the tax revenue from federal tax, state tax, and other sorts of stuff. Just in 2008, 2010, 2012, it estimated it brought in $16.5 million, or an average of $17.2 million in federal tax revenue. What the United States gets in total in tax revenue is $2.5 trillion. So even if we were to reduce that federal tax income by, let's say, the maximum of 12% of decrease, that's still not a significant amount that will put the federal state at harm, or even a state tax at harm from the income that they receive. And just to go on, the current policy that we have in America is too detrimental to too many American citizens. We've said that there will be 4.2 million years of life lost, and teenagers, especially those between 15 and 17, are most vulnerable to this addiction because their brains are developed. And as a definition of an adult, it states that it is when the mind or the brain is fully developed. Well, according to studies, the brain is only half full. Some parts of the brain of the prefrontal cortex are only half developed at age 18. And smoking will help. And smoking nicotine will have damaging effects on the brain, not only that lead to addiction, but other emotional stress and social issues later on in life. So stating that being 18 is when you are to be categorized as an adult. Technically, if you, by doctors and stuff, your brain isn't fully developed or grown, so you wouldn't be an adult. And it seems logical that those 18 to 15 are completely mature, but the brain is still maturing. Specifically the area of prefrontal cortex, the changes occurring between 18 and 25 that are essentially a continued process of brain development that started during puberty. When you're 18, you're roughly halfway through the entire stage of development, and the prefrontal cortex does not have nearly the functional capacity at age 18 as it does at 25. So as you would like to think that you would be still growing at 18, you are. And that's why having the smoking age at 18 is just too young, and not many people are fully grown to be able to handle that type of stuff on their brain. And I'm out of time.